Welcome everybody to the 251 Connection, where we are connecting business owners, community leaders, and the community. Follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, check out our website for blogs from the interviewees, and please comment and share like this so we can get more traction. Today, we're going to interview Scott Blair from, he's the owner of 2U Tire. It is a mobile tire store. They bring the tire to you, and I can tell you, I've used Scott many of times. It is convenient, and thank you so much for being here today, Scott.
I appreciate it, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. So, what is it exactly that you do, and what is 2U Tire?
So 2U Tire, essentially, as the name implies, we bring the tire store to you. So up until just a few years ago, having mobile service was really only for the commercial truck industry. Most people are familiar with, a semi-truck maybe broke down on the road with a blown tire,
Yeah.
and a technician out there with kind of hammers and some pry bars and stuff like that, which is okay for that environment. That works. But what happens when you have like a little small trailer tire, or your BMW, or your work truck,
right,
maybe with custom wheels? You're not going to be throwing a sledgehammer at that.
True story. Yeah.
And you got tire pressure sensors. There's a lot more technical things that have to go on the passenger light truck side.
Yeah.
So what this platform does is essentially, in a Mercedes Sprinter van, which is the biggest one that they build, it's almost 24 feet long. It contains a European tire changer, a European balancer. I've got German precision balance tools that allow me to center the wheel on the balancer the same way they ride on the hub of the vehicle, which is important because it allows us to essentially remove us as a variable in the balance equation. And we solve a lot of vibration problems with those tools in that process. We can relearn and replace tire pressure sensors, which a lot of people are familiar with that now.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
On your tire, and this is something I didn't know, or I guess I didn't pay attention to, with the tire pressure sensors.
Yep.
There are two different ways that it's going to show you there's a problem, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
So, and I appreciate you bringing that up. So for those that are watching, your tire pressure monitoring system uses a light on the dash. Most commonly, it looks kind of like a horseshoe with an exclamation mark. Some of the older systems actually say TPMS.
Okay.
So the ones with the horseshoe and the exclamation mark, it's a cross section of a tire.
Okay.
But people may not realize that.
Yeah,
but it's actually a cross section of a tire.
Got it.
But horseshoe. All right. So if it comes on when you crank the car and it's solid, that means there's an air pressure issue. Either it's too low, generally 25% lower than it needs to be, or can be too high. Because I have had instances of that happen where someone inflated the wrong tire. Or someone thought they read the sidewall and thought that was the right pressure, whereas the right pressure generally is a placard on the door jamb. But the second way that light indicates that there's something going on is when you crank the vehicle and it flashes for about 90 seconds before it goes solid.
Gotcha.
That's actually an indicator that there is a fault in the system. Usually a tire pressure sensor battery has failed. They're generally designed to last between 7 and 10 years.
Okay.
They can sometimes go longer. Sometimes they go shorter. So someone that's a traveling salesman putting 30 to 50,000 miles a year on a car, they're going to get a shorter life.
Gotcha. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the mobile tire store and things like that. Like I said, I've used you quite a few times.
Yep.
I've had a trailer breakdown with 8,000 pounds of concrete on there. We were in the middle of the road, and Scott was able to come to us and actually help us out. Yep. And he's come to replace all the tires on our service vehicles and different things like that. So it's very convenient to where you can call Scott, call 2U Tire, and say, hey, I'm having an issue. Can you come out and diagnose or take a look and help me out? Or I have a flat. Call 2U Tire. They can come to you, which is super, super convenient. But what else? So from the sound of it, mobile tire store, stuff like that. What else sets you apart?
Yeah. So I'm actually a Tire Industry Association certified instructor. Now, most people don't realize we actually have certifications for our industry. You rarely see that in any of the retail stores.
Gotcha.
And so from the very onset of the program 15, 16 years ago, I would think I was in the very first group that was there and attained that certification, not as just a technician, but as a instructor.
Yeah.
So essentially the people that wrote the curriculum certified and trained me on how to mount, balancing, proper flat repair, safety, how to lift the vehicle safely, how to do things without tearing up the vehicle, tearing up the wheels, things of this nature, stuff that you would expect that a professional should know. And unfortunately, our industry just doesn't have any minimum standards.
Okay.
So that's really
so like for us in the building industry, we have a minimum code that we have to adhere to. You're saying there's
no minimum. There is no minimum code for someone to remove and install the lug nuts on your vehicle. They could be flipping burgers the day before.
Yeah.
And many times that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
So not only am I certified from the tire industry in both automotive and commercial tire, over the course of 25 years, I've written my own curriculum for custom wheels and non-original tires, because no one seems to really understand how to deal with custom wheels.
Gotcha.
In addition to that, because that's where my background started, in the very early 90s with the custom wheel market, before I started really adding a lot of tire and various other things, is I invented and patented a tool called the Wheel Fit, which is a test fit tool for custom wheels. And recently, a few months ago, I even expanded it into what I call the grip. It clamps to a tire, it bolts to the hub of a vehicle. It allows me to figure out what is the widest tire possible that will fit in the exact wheel dimensions to make that tire fit without rubbing before I ever have to order the wheel. I did 2 high-profile builds here 2 weeks ago, one for Rutledge Wood from Top Gear America, also NASCAR commentator, and also for Mike Finnegan, who is the second half of the dynamic duo for Motor Trend's Roadkill. And I did a vehicle for both of those 2 guys 2 weeks ago.
Impressive. So where can people find To You Tire? If they wanted to, so they're watching this video now and they're like, well, that sounds phenomenal. Mm-hmm. I can have my car in the parking lot at work. And he's going to come out there, take a look at my tire. I can work in peace knowing that he's going to stop by and take a look at my tire and let me know what's wrong or change it or whatever it is. So how can they find you to be able to do that?
Easiest way to do it is just to log on to 2U Tire AL. That's the number 2, letter U, tire, AL.com. And from there, you'll go to our main site, and it'll show a Phoenix location, which is my business partner, where we started his first. We own this brand. It's not a franchise. We sat at a table 5 years ago, and we designed everything with this. So the Daphne location, obviously, will be there as well, and you can click on there, or you'll see the phone number. That phone number goes to our receptionist, and the receptionist will gather some basic information and then essentially try to contact us directly. If we're tied up or something, then they've got the information. You don't have to spend time on hold. You're talking to a real person, and they will send us an email, and as soon as we're out from underneath whatever it is, we already know what you need, whether it's a tire size or a price on something or just call to talk about something. If you just don't know what you even need, we know that, and when I call you back here, for a short period of time, I can have a lot of the answers already ready to go.
So let me ask you this too. This is, I think, the most surprising part was I'm thinking, okay, small business, he has to make his money somewhere. There's no way that he's going to come to me and be able to compete with the prices I'm going to get at a tire store, but yet you did. So I thought that was super impressive. Not only was it convenient for you to come to me, but you were able to get me a good deal on tires. So is that part of what you do too? I mean, you just have those ends in the, shopping for tires for customers and things like that.
Yeah, and in the tire industry, most people may or may not understand, but there's not a lot of markup on tires. I mean, we're literally talking, $15, $20, $25. That's the markup.
Right.
That's it.
Okay.
And it could be a $200 tire, and not many people can walk into a retail store and buy something off the shelf where they're only making maybe 10%.
Right.
Okay. So we have a saying in the industry: we don't make money on the sell, we make money on the buy.
Yeah.
And with my business, I don't have $100,000 in inventory tied up that when someone comes or calls me, that I'm looking at what's in inventory that I can sell to get my money back out of that product.
Okay, gotcha.
So I'm always working 24 to 48 hours in advance, typically, because I'm going where the customer is convenient. They're not taking time out of their day.
Right.
On that 4 hours they have during the week, that's maybe.
Right. Scheduling an appointment and then just thinking, I got to be there, but...
Yeah, and then you're trying to rush in there at 7 o'clock in the morning and hope that you can be one of the first 2 or 3 to get out before lunch.
Right.
Okay, so that being said, it gives me the ability to actually shop for the product.
Okay.
Both in this market and out of this market. I get some of my product all the way from the Midwest sometimes.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
The benefit is I can find tires sometimes, not all the time, but I have found tires for some of my clients as much as $50 less than what I could find it here in town because someone had an overstock. Maybe they had a special buy. They bought a container load. There's factors in the tire industry that have to do with volume rebates, and if those volume sales are not reached by the wholesalers, they have to to get their volume money. They've got to sell so much product. If they're behind on their numbers, they just start, hey, I need to move this, and they'll put a deal on something. Well, on occasion, that tire that they're moving is what I need.
Well, let me ask you this too. So with that being said, right, so a lot of the times there is the upselling factor in different things when you go to a tire store, but can the customer say, listen, I've got Goodyear, or I've got this type of tire, I want that same type of tire, I just want you to change it. Is that, that's doable, right? Is
absolutely.
There? Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
Absolutely. And there's, many of my clients, they may not necessarily need a whole set of tires.
Right.
They may only need one. Maybe they punctured one. Maybe one got replaced somewhere along the way at a different time, and now they need something to balance it out because the tread depth is different.
Yeah.
I tend to try to match tires on the same axle at the very least, if not the whole vehicle.
Yeah.
So, if they've got a particular brand that they like, especially if they've got a tire that has given them good service, they like the way it rides, they like, what the tire provides for them, whether it's traction or mileage, whatever the case may be, we can put that right back on the vehicle. And that's one thing that's real important that I want to say. I work with my clients in regards to finding the correct product that will meet their needs and their expectations, because I'm not selling something out of inventory.
That's right.
I'm going to give them a proposal. Usually when I'm working with a client and we've got a set of tires that they need to purchase, I'll give them 2 or 3 different options of tires, usually budgetary differences, but then I break them down within the document and I actually tell them, here's the pros and the cons of each one of these. Right. And
so
then we'll have a conversation. And my clients absolutely love that they're being educated for the first time in their life.
Yeah.
Just because it's round and it's black and it's rubber doesn't make it identical. Even the exact same size tires can have fundamentally differences. It'd be like putting on a set of work boots and trying to go run a marathon.
Yeah.
Is it a shoe? Yes, they're both shoes. Which one's going to be the correct product? The running shoe or the work boot?
Right. Well, and it gives you the leeway to actually do the business and not have to push an agenda. You don't have the sweat of, man, I need to push out this type of tire in order to meet a quote. You don't have to worry about that.
No.
That right there, I think, is a game changer because you can add value with the education piece. You can give the customer what they want. If they have a preference, you don't have to change their mind. You just educate them on, so which is a huge difference. So this is what I'm telling you. So Scott will come to you, so you don't have to go to a store, wait, get in line. You don't have to do that. So he will come to you. He will diagnose your problem. He will change your tire, all while you sit at your office, at your job, broke down on the side of the... just anything that you could think of, a scenario where you're out and about and something happens. Scott is able to come there. Not only that, but he will give you, he'll get you a good deal on your tires, and then he will educate you on the process and the value of the tire that you're getting. So you really cannot beat that. But I'm sure, there's something that has made you a little bit more successful in your venture for you to be able to carry on. And I think that part of that has been some of the networking and relationships that you've had. I know we're in a group together and things like that. So, and then there is something that else that kind of has elevated you here recently that you've got going on, right? What's that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we were able to be selected as one of the 10 finalists for the United Bank Homegrown Startup Contest here in the Baldwin County area.
Yeah,
and that's been a pretty huge honor. Matter of fact, you found out there were 52 entrants into this contest. So this wasn't just some little small something, and I've actually ran into someone else who was instrumental in actually helping them to structure that thing.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a pretty substantial contest. It's first of its kind, probably for this area. That
absolutely, I've never heard of something like this.
I want to thank United Bank for teaming up with Discover, who is funding this program, and it's given small businesses who can show opportunities for growth and continue to expand and scale.
Yeah.
That injection of cash and capital that can shrink their time to get where they need to be, or buy a piece of equipment, or invest in something that will grow their business that otherwise may take them quite some time.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to be able to have a platform, and like what we were talking about is you're in the top 10, whether you win or not, it's still a big deal because you're going to get in front of people. You're going through a process right now, getting yourself prepared for that mind state that separates your business. So no matter what, you've already created separation for yourself just being in this competition. And United Bank did a tremendous job, providing that. That is the value of banking local and having an interest in the small businesses around here.
It is, absolutely.
Which it's a game changer for people like Scott, who now has the potential to do things he wasn't able to do before. So let's talk a little bit about you as we wrap this thing up. So you're a car enthusiast. What are your hobbies? Do you think about tires all the time? Or it just seems like you do.
According to my wife, yes.
Okay.
I do spend a lot of time in it, and just like a medical doctor, or anyone else who has a very technical field, you really have to be immersed in it.
Yeah.
You can't just say, "I do it."
Right.
It really
You're
has
invested.
to. It has to be part of who you are. And even from small childhood, playing with the Matchbox cars and various things like that, you see the progression that there was something there of an affinity toward the automobile and things about it.
Yeah.
And so, absolutely, I'm a car enthusiast. I've been a member of SEMA, which is the Special Equipment Market Association, for probably 20 years. I've probably gone to the SEMA show at least, 15 plus some times.
Yeah.
And for many people, that's like the holy grail.
Okay.
Gotcha. Of automotive aftermarket culture. Everything that you can put on, in, around, or under a car is inside this.
So that must
be buildings.
Yeah, for you that I can see where that would be good.
So absolutely. But I have an aptitude toward helping people.
Yeah.
And understanding the mechanics of what's going on. Not only do I provide tires and wheels, obviously, but when I'm servicing their vehicle, I'm looking for very specific things that I know are problems of that particular vehicle platform.
Yes.
And so, I'm doing the work that you've hired me to do,
right.
Tires, wheels, whatever, sensors. But at the same time, I'm looking for other things.
Right.
And many times those things are life-threatening, maybe suspension issues or something that if they completely break or pull apart, it could cause a wreck or even hurt or worse.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that because even when you came and did one of my trucks, there was just a list of things that I'm worried about getting new tires on the truck so it can keep rolling, and then you provide a list of, hey, you might want to look at this, and I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? Otherwise, I wouldn't have known. And a lot of times you go in and you change a tire and you move on, but no, you actually said, hey, these things are common concerns you might want to check.
And I was working on a trailer, so we do a lot of RVs, because of the airbags. I can lift
Oh,
the
I didn't
vehicle
know.
up and
Okay,
down.
so you do RVs.
Oh gosh, I've done 2 Airstreams.
That's important to know, yeah.
I've done 2 Airstreams. One was a '66. It was manufactured about a month before we actually launched Apollo 11.
Okay.
It was a neat piece that this lady up in Spanish Fork is going to be restoring, but I can physically pick that up with airbags.
Okay.
And replace the tires on those type deals.
So
but I was working on a utility trailer yesterday for a new fleet client, and they just overloaded this trailer for its whole life. And I was there to replace the tires. Well, I checked the bearings. The bearings were loose on a couple of the axles. The springs were shot. They were de-arched. The springs had been pounding onto the frame. The shackles were loose. I mean, so I basically went in and said, okay, your 2 tires are on there. It's okay to pull, but send it straight to the repair shop, and here's your list of items. Do not put this behind, a truck and do 80 miles an hour. It is not. It's not safe to do that right now. Go get it repaired. And they had no idea, because that's not their job. Their job is their business.
Yeah, that's right.
And focusing on their business, not worrying about a trailer.
Yeah.
That's just a means to an end.
That's right. I understand that.
That's my job, and that's what I provide.
Awesome. So, a little bit about yourself. Do you have a favorite food?
Man, I don't really have a specific favorite food, although
you go to all these shows and you don't eat. That's got to be part of it, huh?
Yeah, but I like so much diversity.
Okay.
Cajun is probably my favorite, because I like spicy, and I like something that just kind of explodes in your mouth, and you're just like, wow, trying to diagnose what's in this thing.
I would have heartburn, but yes, nice.
And I cook. Actually, I do the cooking for our family for the most part.
I did not know that.
So yeah, I'm actually pretty good. I can thank my mom for that, and my grandmother. They could cook some. They can cook some food. Holy cow, man!
Nice.
I pale in comparison, but I try. But so yeah, that's a lot of what I enjoy my time.
Yeah, car shows, cooking. That's good to know.
And the other thing, the other passion is my son. He's a junior at Daphne High. We literally moved a couple of years ago from Spanish Fork to Daphne just so he could get into the music program down there. And I'm involved with the school in regards to building awareness of the Performing Arts Center at Daphne High School.
Okay.
He's a tenor. He's in the choir. He plays piano. He does he does so much stuff. It's just unreal. And so one of the things that I try to do is take all these 30 years of running a business and having a patent and business development services that I provide for other people through my other business. Sure. I actually go out and I teach people how to do this. Yeah. People in this industry that are struggling.
Right.
I teach them how to make their business successful, like what we've done.
Awesome.
So I'm working with my son to help create a couple things that hopefully will give him an opportunity to do something unique in the world and touch lives in such a fantastic way. He goes on mission trips every year. He has sang songs that had Christian rap in them from an artist named Lecrae.
Yep,
and
I know of Lecrae.
You know Lecrae. Yeah. So a couple of years ago, our music minister kind of went out on a limb and let our youth choir, sing a song from Hillsong called "This Is Living Now" that had a rap part from Lecrae. Well, my son sang the rap part from Lecrae, and they were in prisons and in juvenile detention centers. He brought men incarcerated in their 50s to tears.
Nice.
Touched their lives. And it's really phenomenal. So that's where right now, he's 16, junior. There's a lot of stuff these next couple of years that are life-changing, and so I'm really focusing on what I can provide, what my life experiences that I can share with him, hopefully at a younger age, and he can be well advanced. Yeah.
Well, Scott, man, all you do for our networking groups and all you do just for us as small business owners and then out in the community and stuff, I'm sure that he is inspired and he has some big shoes to fill no matter what direction this life takes him. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for coming on. I'm glad to get to you out there. I'm glad to let people know that you're involved in the contest with United. And if you had one message to send to the audience about you, to you, what would that be?
I would just say if you're not happy with where you've been going currently, because there's been a lot of shakeup in the automotive retail business here in the local Mobile Baldwin County market, give us a call and give me an opportunity to show you why we're so much different in that you should expect what we provide as normal and not the bare minimum. That's really the key thing is, you deserve more than what you've been getting. And I have to apologize for our whole automotive industry for essentially staying stuck in the 1980s. We've got tools and training and technology on this van that most people don't even know exists.
Yeah.
And we spend the money, a lot of money, to have these products there because that's what is needed to do the job correctly.
Right. And if you see Scott out and about, stop him, say hello, check out the van. It is amazing. Scott's amazing. Thank you for coming on.
I appreciate it.
We're going to do a few more of these this year with some local business owners. Thank you guys for tuning in. Share it and go see Scott at 2U Tire.
Thanks. Appreciate it.